probably heard lots of talk recently around the word gerrymandering. But what is gerrymandering? Why is it even called that? Hey there, fellow historians and political enthusiasts. My name's Allie Curtis, and today on 300 Seconds of Science, we're learning about gerrymandering. So, gerrymandering. First off, why is it even called that? Unfortunately, it has no relation to these Jerrys, and unfortunately, most people also pronounce it wrong. It's actually supposed to be pronounced gerrymandering with a hard G sound.
My real name is Gary.
Gary?
This is because the term arose based on a cartoon in the Boston Gazette in 1812. The cartoon was aimed at Elbridge Gerry, the Massachusetts governor at the time, making fun of the way he drew the district map, which was drawn in a way so as to favor his party. The shape of the district map that he drew resembled a salamander, hence the term gerrymander. But for the sake of the argument, we'll just continue to pronounce it wrong, because odds are, if you pronounce it right, people will tell you you're saying it wrong. Back to gerrymandering with the J sound.
Jerry, if that even is your real name.
What is it, and why should you care? Well, first off, let's start with a mini government lesson. In the United States, each state selects a certain number of representatives based on the population within that state. So, states with larger populations like California and Texas have more representatives than states with smaller populations such as Vermont and Wyoming. These elected representatives then represent a specific geographic area within the state, also known as a district. In a perfect world, there would be a good variety of representatives, so as to reflect the differing political viewpoints of the citizens within the country. How gerrymandering comes into play is how the citizens who vote for these representatives are chosen. But this is confusing, so let's look at an example. Let's say that 50 people live in a district. 60% are blue and belong to the Democratic Party, while 40% are red and belong to the Republican Party. The best way to divide these people would be to group them up into 5 different districts, having 3 blue districts of 10 people and 2 red districts of 10 people. This would be a good and fair representation, but it can be hard to do since not everyone from the same political party lives together in the same district. However, what gerrymandering does is divide the districts up in a way that is favorable to a certain party, such as drawing the district lines horizontally, outnumbering the red voters and therefore making all the districts blue. This can be done a number of ways so that a certain political party can be sure that their party has the majority in each district, unfairly representing the population. You may think this is all wrong and totally unfair, yet believe it or not, sometimes gerrymandering isn't done to disable voters, but rather to empower them. Some of the oddly shaped districts that may look like just another hidden agenda to have a certain party control a district may actually be doing the opposite. Just look at Illinois' 4th Congressional District, known as the Earmuff District, because it looks like earmuffs. The reason this district is drawn this way is because part of the district includes pockets of Latino voters, as well as representation of black voters. The district was drawn in such a way so as to include minority representation, partisan fairness, and as a reflection of the community. This type of gerrymandering was even what was imagined in the 1965 Voting Rights Act, and has even been upheld by a number of Supreme Court cases. So, what's the answer here? Is gerrymandering good or bad? Well, both. Gerrymandering can have benefits to it, but it can also become a problem when it's taken advantage of. One proposed solution is to not involve politicians in the drawing of the lines that they are to then run in. This is already done in states such as California and Washington, where they allow nonpartisan commissions to draw their maps. Colorado also does something similar, where they have leaders of each party choose appointments who then determine the districts together. Ultimately, gerrymandering probably won't ever be perfected, but we can always move forward and try to make things better together. If you learned something new, let us know by leaving a comment down below or by sending us a tweet. As always, the best way to keep up to date on all your scientific inquiries is by subscribing to ZTV 300 Seconds of Science on YouTube, liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, and showing us some love on Instagram. This has been Allie Curtis reminding you to go out, enjoy life, and stay curious.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. Do you want to gain experience in video production, professional social media, or working with real clients? Visit the UA School of Communications online or follow us on social media to learn more. ZTV, make media, make a difference.